everywhere because we're live on the Yoop and the Book of Faces. I
Okay.
think
Maybe.
if it does what it promised, you never know.
Cool.
So before we went live, I said, "Aren't you happy to not be dealing with horses anymore?"
And I said, greatly, because I grew up with horses and I hate horses. Horses are the stupidest animal on earth. Any animal that will eat itself to death, like, come on. Um, any animal that won't come in out of the rain when you have a nice barn and a great place for it to go, like, come on. They're majestic, they're beautiful, they're amazing. They're also incredibly frustrating and difficult and all of those kind of things. So,
Isn't that like the perfect segue to you can bring a horse to water but can't make him drink?
100%. We were having that discussion as well, right? So, my entire existence right now, my prime directive is to create people who create people. And I spend long hours and lots of my energy trying to create opportunities for people and situations. And just, I mean, if I just pick the last couple of weeks, I've created 4 or 5 of the perfect conditions, exactly what the person wanted, everything they've always wanted in life. And when I put it at their feet and hand them the gold bar, they're like, uh, I'll think about it. Like, what are you
It
doing? Right?
it's it's one of the most frustrating things for everyone tuning in right now. It's your favorite opinionated legendary Amerislav and my homeboy Zane here at podcast Rich and Hydrated. Whenever we say rich and hydrated, you have to sip your water, everyone. We're
I'm
creating
ready.
portals of hydration and richness. It's and look, whatever you think of Andrew Tate is irrelevant, but he has this bit about like even if you'd give people, even like people go like, "Oh, I want a Lamborghini," and you'd be like, "Here's a Lamborghini. All you have to do is drive to next city," and they'll go in the car and they'll
Sure.
be like, "Ew, ew, the sun is too bright in my eyes. Ew, ew, I
Mhm.
can't make it," and then they just stop driving.
No, I mean, it's all it is fear. They're just afraid. Change is fear. Everyone's afraid of doing something different. The main thing is they're afraid of how they're going to be judged. Um, it's a whole different generational divide. You know, we've got a whole group that is incredibly intelligent, incredibly smart, faster and better than my generation could have ever been at everything, but they can't get out of their own way. They're absolutely destroyed with imposter syndrome. They need 10,000 likes to get up and get off the couch and go get something to drink. They have to know it's going to work perfectly before they'll even begin. And
Before they
it's
even consider beginning.
correct. Correct. I'll give you an example. One of these particular people that I set something up for, a young gun, always wanted to work in this certain area since like birth, right? Going to school for this, all this kind of things. Well, I found an opportunity with the richest person I know who has done this many times and is doing it again and looking for people exactly like this person. And I set it all up, teed it up, hooked them up, connected them. They interviewed. The dude's like, all right, I'm going to hire him immediately. And this person said, well, I'm worried about losing my friends. And I'm like, well, let's think about that for a second, right? Because I know that if I had an opportunity to make gajillions of dollars and do exactly what I've always wanted to do my whole life, I know your ass would drop out, drag me into a car, and take me there and beat the hell out of me until I actually did it, right? Because you're a true friend, right? If
Mhm.
any friend doesn't want you to be successful, are they truly your friend or are they an acquaintance, right? And I think
Or an
that's where
enemy.
we have completely disassociated the word friend from what a friend actually is because we have
Mhm.
all these friends on whatever social media platform pick. They're my friend. No, they're a connection or an acquaintance. Friends want you to do well. Friends cheer you on. Friends help you do things, right? Friends make you get out of your own damn way, right?
Friends will tell you what you're doing ain't it right now. Let's
100%.
fucking go.
They'll actually be true with you, right? That's how you tell a true friend. And that's what's interesting is how most young kids, and we were the same way, you know, we think our parents are idiots. And then when we get older, we realize, oh, they were just actually telling us the truth, right? They were the ones that actually cared to tell us the truth. right? And there's a saying that I actually tell. I have 1,000 kids. I have two of my own, and then picked up three when I got remarried. And then I'm also a basketball coach, and have YouTube channel and do all kinds of things for other kids. But I've told my specific kids, my own kids, that I don't mind losing you to save you, right?
Real
If I
talk.
need to be the one you blame, if I need to be the one that is the hard person that actually speaks up and says what needs to be done, then I don't mind that. Like, I love you enough to lose you if that's what it takes to save you. And I think that's how all friends should be, right? You got to you got to do a little ledger of who's in your life constantly. I recommend about every 90 to 180 days. Sit down and go, okay, who am I hanging out with? Are they where I want to be? Are they better than me? Can they help me get there? All those kind of things, right? You need to evaluate. What do they call them? The soul vampires that just suck the life out of you and make your whole life and everything around you worse. Like, you got to get rid of those immediately. The problem is some people are married to them, or they might be their mom or their dad or whatever it is. Hey, go no contact, get over it, go do something amazing, right?
I made the mistake, and I discussed this with Bobby as well previously. Like, I made the mistake of thinking that I could out drive, out passion, out thrive my shitty friends. If I would just do it on their behalf,
Mhm.
like it would balance itself out or something. Oh boy, was that an expensive lesson.
Well, and you think you can be an inspiration or an example, or you can show them that it's possible. And so this could be a great topic for a minute here for a second. Okay. All right, Vera. So one of I was asked the other day, a friend of ours is becoming a dad. All right, hey, give me your one piece of dad advice. Okay. Super easy as a parent, a coach, an employer, a friend, any of those kind of things. So if I judged a 9-year-old by my frame, they would fail immediately, right?
Yeah.
So you have to be careful when you're trying to inspire and do and create things for other people. You're judging them by your frame. Oh, I would jump on this. Well, they're not you. So you do have to understand that, right? And that's the hardest part, because there's not a lot of us. And that's why us, and there's groups of us that hang out together and are friends.
For a
That's the
reason.
main reason, because no one else understands what the hell we're talking about, right? Hey, I can't understand if I created all the money and things that you wanted in the world, why you wouldn't jump on that? Because I would. Well, that's not a fair critique, right? Because they're not me. And I was actually just having that conversation before I got on with you with someone else. Like, I've got to figure out what the new message is. I've got to figure out the thing to excite and inspire people. And I'm not the one that's being inspired. So any message that resonates with me is pretty much useless. I've got to
Mm-hmm.
figure out what the new message is. How do I
Mm.
inspire? How do I get people to want to do things? How do I, like, for my generation, it was make a shit ton of money and make everybody else look bad because you're so fucking awesome, right? I'm a Gen Xer.
Love
That's
it.
what we did, right? I mean, that's all we do. We handled it all ourselves. We did everything ourselves, all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't apply for different people with different, motivations, different upbringing, different times of the world, all those kind of things. What we got to do is find out the new message, because, and this is where we ended just before I got on the call with you. The thing is, Vera, we don't have a choice because there isn't anyone else coming. So we've got to make the best out of what we have. And even if they could only be 1 or 2% of what we think they could be, that's still 1 or 2%. If we can stack up enough of them, we can get to 100%, right?
Mm.
And we can't allow ourselves to be frustrated because they're not doing it the way we would, because again, they're not us. And I think that's going to be the hardest part. That's why I started the conversation with him earlier. He was like, how's it going? I was like, I think I need a couple months off.
Mm.
Like, I need to just go get in a room or in a tree or out in the woods somewhere and just figure out what the hell this new message is going to be.
For me, one of the puzzles that I keep bumping into in regards to things like these is, for one, my mentor is very clear. She's like, you're not Jesus. Stop trying to save people. And I'm like, whoa, I know I have a hero complex, but why you have, like, change your tone of voice, because you're right. Who told you? Like,
Mhm.
but the challenge is that, I speak 9 languages, so language means something to me. So when people say they want something, right? What I have figured out is that they actually mean, if this thing would happen to fall in my lap without me doing anything for it, I might enjoy it. But that's too long of a phrase, so they say I want.
Sure.
Meanwhile, when people like you and me and our crew says I want, like we already look at them like in the mirror because they're already like way ahead of us getting the thing. It's a behavior. I want is a behavior, not like it's an activity, right?
Sure. I guess we hydrate for a minute, right?
Yes, rich and hydrated. I got new whiskey glasses. I don't even drink, but I put water in it with the American flag because America is the most amazing nation of all.
Maybe that would help bring some whiskey to the situation. No, I mean, back to what you were saying a second ago. I look at a different skew of that. I say to myself, I can't save everyone, and that's okay. But I can try. I can put the message out there. I can do my part. My part is to let them know there is another path. My part is to let them know it is possible to do it a different way. My calling is to show them that they could occur. And then it's up to them to decide. Right?
And
I
love
even
that.
go back and push them a little bit, right?
Right.
I'll dig out the ground under them, maybe they'll fall in, right?
Right.
I'll do all those things, but it's not up to me. So I'm not trying to save everyone, right? I can't. I never could. There's no way to do that. That'd be ridiculous, right? So that would start me in a place of negativity and failure if I went that route, right? So I look at it the other way. You know, maybe I can. Maybe I can just put it out there and someone will listen.
Now, you've been always super good at actually actively showing with the intention of showing others like, hey, it can be differently. I'm way too fucking cranky for that. I'm like, look, this is my life. If you want to hop on, let's fucking go. Otherwise, couldn't be bothered.
Sure.
But you're actively trying to like be like, hey, this is the path to go. Like you're like this neon sign going like, this is the life path, or this could be a life path.
Well, just like there's different genres of music, there should be different genres of motivational coaches and people that inspire, right? Different message works for a lot of different people. I mean, just as a basketball coach, I got 12 kids on the team. There's 12 different ways I'm coaching, right? And all of them are going to work for each and every one of them. So I think we're all needed. We need the good cop, bad cop. We need the hard ass. We need there's that key point. Really, really good dads sense it in their when they're raising their kids, when they switch from beating the hell out of them to being disappointed, right? And how soul crushing that was for us. Like, no, man, just spank me. Like, no, being your dad disappointed was like the most horrible thing that could happen, right? And that's what we've got to figure out is what's that message change that we've got to make right now to those that are coming up and those that we need to take over this world, right? So like me, we didn't really intro it. I mean, I run an engineering company and I'm out here working every day in the technology and in the trades and in fabrication and piping and building plants and industrial work and all these kind of things. And what's our problem right now? We got nobody, right? So we've picked up 5 clients in the last 6 weeks. Their engineer died. Think about that for a minute. That's how bad the demographics are. 6 weeks, 5 new customers, their engineer died. Not retired, not isn't doing it anymore. He's dead, right? Countless other customers. Our engineer's 80. Our engineer's 85. We probably need somebody else to start looking at this, right? And there's nobody coming, right? The people coming into the trades and taking over, nobody, right? I've got a friend. He's just turned 30. He's a machinist, right? The next youngest guy in the building is 62. And they call that guy junior, right?
But y'all make good money, right?
Yes, we make great money. But that's the thing is that's not necessarily a motivation anymore. Like what do you let's be honest for a minute, Vera. Okay. So I'm a kid and I make $30 an hour. Okay. It's decent pay, high school kid. Maybe you just got a degree in something. What the hell are you gonna do with that? Rent's $4K. Can't afford a car. I went to get a burrito the other day. $19 for a burrito and a drink.
Yeah, so it's 45 minutes of working or 40 minutes.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not worth it anymore. We don't have a path that works. Okay. Now, you and I see that and go, well, I'll just make 600K.
Right.
But that's not always possible to everyone else. Okay.
No, but it doesn't need to be possible for everyone else. It needs to be possible for you.
Sure.
Or, and and I'm talking you, and not you, but like the person who is trying to get better. Because it doesn't
But
need
also, let's take it back to the frame for a minute. And I'll bring up an example. I was teaching a university class, and we finished lab early. So I just started asking the kids one night, hey, who's graduating? Who's got job offers? Who's got this? Who's got that? I was like, hey, do you guys just want to talk about how to negotiate your job offer? And I had a girl go, you mean you can negotiate your job offer?
real. Yeah.
And then it hit me, Farah, like, how would she know?
Real.
Her parents weren't engineers.
Mm-hmm.
No one in her family had ever graduated from college.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell would she know? Right. So I kind of took that personally. That's on us now. Us that do know need to let those that don't know. And then they got to decide what they're going to do. And we may not be able to save them all. And not everybody's going to listen. Right. But it doesn't mean you stop banging the drum. It doesn't mean you stop saying
Absolutely.
it. It doesn't mean you stop bringing it up. What you can really do, and what I try to do, is find examples, especially like in engineering. I try to find my female students, right? Create great examples of them doing amazing things that they never thought they could do. And then I can use that to show others, right? Maybe I can create that path and, get somebody believing that, oh, that actually could be me.
I'm concerned we'll keep bumping into a fundamental cultural difference baseline where I feel that the interpretation of the American dream to Americans is I can show up and it'll be great, versus to me as an immigrant is I can work my ass off and surpass my financial class.
Sure.
And I keep hearing like this, but it's not worth it. The American dream doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, it's all around me. Like I see the American dream everywhere, but apparently we have a different frame or expectation, should I say. Sure. Like from East Europe, life is a shit sandwich with an occasional fun little bliss. If you have enough money for, a little meat on the sandwich, like that's your funsies.
Sure.
And in America, life is promised. Your birthright is happiness. And then you get reality fucking, like nature knocked on the door and was like, well, let me fucking get some reality up in this bitch.
Yeah, but I mean, we created this, right? We've got a whole generation that wasn't told the truth. They weren't told no. They weren't told that they failed. They weren't told that, hey, you need to win, right? I think that's a big one, coaching in sports, just teaching the kids that winning is important. And winning together as a team is important.
Yeah.
And whether Timmy got in or not is not important, even though mom's yelling about it. I mean, I used to handle that with my players. Hey, why am I not in the game? Okay. Next shot we make, we get $1 million each. Who do you want to take the shot? Walker? Well, that's why Walker's in the game. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Like, maybe you could go set a screen for Walker or get a frickin' rebound and kick the ball out to him or get him open, right? Because you just said he's the one you want taking the shot. So we need to build a team together to get him taking a shot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you tell that to the kids, they're like, yeah, I'm going to tell my mom to just shut up about this. Because the moms are worried about the kid because what do they need? They need the cool Facebook photo so all their friends think they're doing great. Even though they may not be. Right? We've created a whole step of generation from boomers down, making that worse and worse and worse to each iteration. And now we've actually got our saviors, which is the millennials, because there's actually a lot of them, and we're the only place in the world that has them. It's us, Argentina, Vietnam, basically that's, it's the only place where we've still got people that can do a lot of things. And I think they've realized that everything they were told to go to school and everything will be perfect is not going to happen. Now they've got to figure out, well, do I buckle down and find some way to make this work and have some kids and create a better world? Or do I just shut it down and say, fuck this, I'm not going to do anything. Nothing's going to work out. And I think we've got equal numbers of both of that going on right now.
We just went black-pilled. Oh, shit. Okay. But let me ask this question. How much of this is created by chronically living online? Because this whole like the world is going to shit to any extent, doesn't matter
Sure.
even which variation, that you don't see that in real life. That's an online message.
Sure, but I think it's up to us to get everybody to go outside for a minute, right?
Touch grass.
Because if you, when my mom was still with me, she would call and no, 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 on the phone, and I'd be like, "Could you turn off Fox News just for a second?" I just turned that shit off. Okay, now look out the window. Is everything still there? Yeah. Okay, we're good. It's okay. It's actually really nice out here. Just go outside, talk to somebody, spend a few minutes, right? Agreed. We've got to get people off of the entertainment box. We got to get their necks to turn up and see what's going on in the world. But the other thing we got to do is make something interesting to look at out there, right?
Mhm.
We got to give something for people to come do. We got to rally people to something that's important, and it doesn't need to be a sham and a bunch of bullshit. It needs to be something that actually makes a difference, right?
Mhm.
It's right now that me, I'm trying to build I should probably retire and go do whatever I wanted to do, but I've got a bigger calling now. I've got to create a conduit so that the trades can do more work for more people. I've got to find some way to get the message out to kids that we need you, and you can make a lot of money, and you don't have to put up a bunch of bullshit. You don't have to sit in stupid meetings, and you don't have to do all these things that you don't want to do. And I took a bunch of Cub Scouts to a machine shop, and we threw this thing on the counter and it scanned it, started printing it out of metal behind them. And there's a laser cutting like 2-inch thick steel. And all of the machines have Xbox controllers. And the kids are looking at their dads like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't tell me about any of this. And they're like, I didn't know this existed.
Mm.
And the kids are like, I hate school. Can I just start doing this today, Dad? And I'm like, yeah, you could probably make like $35 an hour starting today.
Yeah.
No one knows about it. And that's our thing, is we've got to get the message out. Now, why is the message not already out? And it is because you had a whole generation of the boomers where there were too many of them. So if you mentioned to anyone, 30 people rolled in there and took it away from you.
Hmm.
So they were very protective of everything that they did. They didn't want to help anybody. Everybody was competition. You have my generation that came after him, Gen X. We just kind of stayed in the shadows, handled our own shit, did our own thing, made our own little way. We're the forgotten generation. There's not very many of us, right? And then we got the next groups coming down where we haven't created an environment that inspires them, excites them, helps them, supports them, shows them. We've just tried to make it easy on them. We've just tried to make it where, oh, you're perfect, everything's great. No kid wants to hear that, right? I had a team one year, they were fifth graders, I think, and we got our ass kicked and we lost almost every game. And at the end of the season, the parents wanted to buy them medals and have a party.
Oh Lord.
And I'm like, hey, let's talk to the kids. So I pulled the kids together. Hey, your parents are thinking about making medals. And they're like, for what? Going 0 and 10? Like, that's fucking stupid. Right. And the parents are like, oh, wait a minute. And I'm like, yeah, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for the kids. The kids know they
Mm.
lost and they got to get better. That's what we just finished talking about. Like, hey, did you guys enjoy getting beaten in every game last year? No. What can we do to get better? All right, let's go do these 5 or 6 things and do it together and come back next year and maybe we got a shot.
Oh, that.
We've got to make that happen. We've got to be the conduit. We've got to communicate that. We've got to get that out to people. We've got to inspire and speak up. And again, we're not going to be able to save everybody. There is no
Yeah.
chance of that. But if we can save one, just think
Oh,
about my
absolutely.
directive again, right? So for many, many years that you've known me, Bear, my directive was to change a life every day. And every day I made sure I did it. And then it hit me that's not big enough. So now I create people who create people. I got to find people who are going to make more people. I judge you on who you teaches. How about that?
Hmm. Hmm.
Let's take it a few levels. Because again, like for my generation, there aren't any of us.
It's like
So
a judgment MLM.
what's that?
It's a judgment MLM, multi-level marketing. Like I'm judging who you teach, who you teach, who you teach.
I need a downline. I need a downline really badly. I got to find some killers and I got to get them a downline. That's super important. And the thing is, we've got to make it important. We got to make it inspiring, right? So
Yeah.
we got to create a world where, hey, let's work together and do something cool. Let's work together and work, and it actually matters, and you actually get something from it, right? Right now, we've got we don't have an exciting world out there, you know.
Yeah.
If it takes $12,000 to take a family of 4 to 5 guys for one meal, we're probably not going to get there. You know what I mean?
Word. Well, and the thing is, like, I feel like the doers are so, including ourselves, tend to be traditionally occupied with the doing, right? And then you have the people who are the watchers, and like there's a gap in between. So, but for one, I'm really excited, even though I bitch about it all the time, but I always make the caveat. Like, I'm really excited that people are romanticizing homestead life and ranch life. Like, even though it's like a $500 like Dutch oven, which very few people can afford, I'm like, I rather have, the because Ballerina Farm is a great example, right? There are a multi-billion-dollar family, right? And so she gets to live her homestead life with like all her fucking fancy
Sure.
shit. And I'm like, I rather have that, so people get like their eyes on that life. 20 are gonna try, and like 15 of them are gonna be like, oh, this is way rougher if you don't have the millions. But like the 3 that are gonna end up really trying, I'm like, that's it. We're doing it for those 3.
Well, to me, I'm going to, as an engineer, I'm going to go back to the first principles and the baseline of that. Okay. How to create the mindset that there's something I want to do, so I'm going to go fucking try it.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I want to do, so I'm not going to let anything get in my way.
Mm-hmm.
There's something I want to do, I'm going to go find 10 people doing it, and I'm going to ask them how they got there, and then I'm going to look for a pattern. I'm going to do that. Like,
But
that's how
that's
you
a
get there,
doer.
right? That's how you
That's
get
a
a
doer.
job. That's how you find a partner. That's how
Mhm.
you figure out what to do in business. All this, it's the same MO, it's the same operating system, but we can't get that across to people. And that's what we've got to convey. We got to get the Rosetta Stone out there.
By the way, for the listeners, it was Zane. Oh, your screen glitched for a second. Oh, you're back. It was Zane, by the way, who when I didn't have my glorious Viking, when I'm like, this is such a fucking shit. This is fucking a shit situation. Like, what am I doing? And he's like, Laura, it's like business. It's a numbers game, just like selling. And I'm like, well, shit, that makes sense. Let's fucking go.
Well, there were 2 things I told you. And I have this conversation with a lot of people. First off, how many at bats have you taken? So how are you going to hit a home run if you don't get at bat, right? So it's a numbers game. You got to get your numbers out there. But there was another thing I told you. I don't know if you remember it. I asked you, I said, okay, Vera, so you have had nothing but shit relationships your whole life. Okay. So why are you listening to you?
Word.
Right?
Right? Yeah.
Like, maybe you should do the opposite of what Vera thinks for a while. So
Absolutely.
if Vera really likes the guy, might not be the one. If Vera's not real sure, maybe she should go try that out for a minute. And what happened? 5 seconds later, you're married to a Viking.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And if we could convey that to other people, especially women, especially girls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if everything you've ever done is horrible, why do you keep doing exactly the same shit over
Mm-hmm.
and over and over again,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe try something different, right?
Well, and this self honesty, that it was like, oh yeah, clearly I have daddy issues. Like, zero problem saying that. Even like, hey, clearly I have daddy issues. That's also the reason, number one, why I'm successful in business, right? Because I like the external, like the material validation of
Sure.
my output. So okay, clearly I have daddy issues. Okay, I'm not attracted to the good guys. Let me just start dating the good guys that I'm not attracted to. And I'm like, well, shit, found it.
There's a cool part. So I, as a kid, wanted to be an artist, and for sake of a really terrible high school teacher, I probably would have been. And I'm really big on looking at the negative space, right? What's the thing I'm missing? Because everybody sees the mountain or the picture or the portrait or the person in front of them, but do you actually catch the other things that are going on around you? What's in the negative space? And that's what it was for you, right? Hey, what if I tried something different? Because this shit ain't working. Maybe I should try something different. And the courage to just step forward and do it, right? And it is 100% a numbers game. That's how I've met my now wife. I had an intern who was swiping right for me while I was in meetings and doing work. And then I would outsource some of the initial messages to my poker buddies while we were hanging out and doing different things. And what was funny is she was doing the same thing. She had an intern swiping right. And then she met me because she was just trying to fill a Wednesday. And then one of my poker buddies made a message and we connected. So next thing you know, we ended up meeting and ended up getting married not too long after that. So you meet your soulmate if you get the numbers up there, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and this does help a lot of people as I'm talking to them. So let's say there was something you wanted to do. Meet your forever person, get the perfect job, whatever it was. If I told you you only had to contact 150,000 people to make that happen, how long would it take you to do that? Like no time at all. You would just immediately do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And 1 out of 150,000 is pretty small odds, right? Yeah, that's not guaranteed, but if I could tell you that it was guaranteed, wouldn't you do it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what's going to make sure it never happens, and that's not doing it. Right. So just go do it. Go try it. Go turn it on. Go flip the switch. Go make the call. Go swipe right. Go on the date. Do all those kind of things. Right. There's no way in hell it's going to happen if you don't step forward and try it. And even if it fails miserably, at least you have a cool story. Right. Right. Some of my dates before I met my wife, awesome. My favorite, I was going to pick up a Waffle House waitress at 3 a.m. because I said, you know what, fuck it. I've never gone out with a girl that worked at Waffle House. I'll try that. So lo and behold, I'm on the way to pick her up. I pull in the parking lot. There is a biker gang and about 13 SWAT cops in the parking lot and just melee going on. And apparently she started the fight. So I just turned right back on the main road and drove on, right? Like, all right, I'm good. Okay, that's a pretty bad date, but I got a cool story to go with it, right? What if I'd never stepped forward and tried that? What if I'd turned my nose up to it? What if I'd said, oh, everybody's going to judge me or tell me how terrible I am? No, I'm looking for a cool story. And I use that as a segue into something. Are we hydrating now?
Mm-hmm.
I use that as a segue. Okay, I have a working theory here, and you can help me with this. I believe that the coolest people I know in life live in the you. Okay? They live on the extremes. It's either all amazing or all horrific. And the real truth to it is, it's because they live their life all in on everything they do.
Bad or good.
And when you do that, it's either going to be successful or a massive fucking failure. And when you live in the middle in mediocrity, that's where you never go anywhere. That's why you're never happy. You don't make anything. You don't make any money. You don't have any success, right? So just shove it to the max, man. Make it happen.
So I want to top on that, and I would love your feedback on this, because my theory is that, right, because the plan to any action is easy. You got to do it because it's still, the odds are bigger when you do it rather than not doing it at all. However, I think that, or I feel currently from my psychological like cosmology of how I view the world, that the current pain, and I'm even having a hard time saying that as someone who comes from extremes, saying that psychological stuff is pain is really challenging for me, right? But okay, I'll accept America. Where the pain of disappointment for women is the biggest and the pain of rejection for men is the biggest. So showing up, trying these things, and as a man be rejected, or as a woman experiencing the disappointment by not getting the thing within a time frame that you had hoped it would happen, sure, that is worse than not trying at all.
Well, I'm gonna sidestep that in a slightly different direction. I was just having this conversation with one of my daughters, and you may know her. What if instead of what you were looking for and what you would not settle for less than, what if you thought about who is this person I want, and what do they want, and then become that person?
Absolutely.
I mean, we do that in business, right? We create a product people want, and then we market it and advertise it and tell people it's out there. And then eventually people that want that thing come and get it from us. Why the hell wouldn't we do that in our life? That works every single day. Drive up and down the road. How many businesses did you just pass? A lot. They're doing exactly that every day. So now you have proof of concept. So now just go try it. What if I became the perfect person for who I'm looking for is looking for? Probably more likely to find them, right? But if
Absolutely.
you sit there, and this can be in love, life, business, jobs, whatever, if you sit there with your arms folded, waiting on the world to become perfect for you, it ain't gonna happen. And the
I'm
problem
blaming.
is most people don't have a parent or a friend or a loved one that will tell them that straight up. They'll just tell them, "Oh, it's okay, baby. Oh, you tried. Oh, men are just assholes. Oh, the
You are
world is
great the way you
terrible.
are.
Oh, dating apps are hard," and they'll just feed your victim mentality until it is a massive, overwhelming monster that you can never get out from under.
I
Or you can
right.
have the positive friend that's like, fuck it, go out with the person you wouldn't normally go out with.
We
Be a
both.
better person, get stronger, get faster, get smarter, go do things. Why are you sitting at the house? How are you going to meet somebody sitting at the house?
Mhm.
Go on dates. So, what if they're bad? Then you'll have great stories. Start a coffee table book of the pictures of horrible dates. I'll buy it. It'll be cool, right?
Right. Well, I blame feminism for that. Right? This whole notion and all these empowered women, you are
Okay.
great the way you are. You deserve the best. No, the fuck you don't.
Whose fault is that?
Uh, 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 um, for me, hard to explain because I'm from East Europe, so we've had a different line of.
Sure.
But you tell
You
me.
can't bring that frame to another place, right? If that's
Mhm.
all anyone's ever known or heard, how can you blame them for thinking that way?
No,
Right?
no, right,
You've
but
got to create enough examples of the opposite of
yes,
that. And
yes.
that's why I often coach girls' teams. That's why I spend a lot of extra time with my female employees. That's why I spend a lot of extra time with my female students. Like, the world is not what they're telling you it is.
It's a scam. They're
It,
selling you
they're
a
just trying to get
scam.
you to buy stuff,
Yes.
to buy rings and wedding receptions and makeup and
Mhm,
clothes and all this
mhm.
crap that you may or may not need, right? You're not going to be loved because of a bunch of crap you bought. You're going to be loved because you're a cool person that's lovable. So why don't you try that? But they can't sell that to you, so we don't hear that from anybody, right?
Well, and not only they are selling this like, hey, you are great the way you are, while having ruthless work discipline and ethic themselves, right? Like Beyonce being all single ladies dances 16 hours a day to train,
Sure.
and where everyone like, no, your body is great the way you are, set by someone who's doing like fitness 8 hours a
Well,
day.
it might be, but you also then have to be realistic, right? If you're 270 and haven't been off the couch in 3 years, why would you want to do 6'3" and athletic with a six pack? Those don't even seem congruent. Well, that's what everybody told me I should get.
That.
And that to me is the problem. And we could weave that together with all the topics we've talked about is the bullshit the world has told you is not how the world actually is.
Mhm.
Go out there and try it for yourself, right? It's a big thing in engineering. Like, I need you to go challenge what someone said, right?
Mhm.
Oh, well, so and so told me. Well, how do they know? Well, somebody told them. Well, I'm not buying that then. Well, how did they know? Oh, they've done it 15 times, and here's the $22 million. And in Barra's words, the receipt for when they actually did it. Okay,
Mhm.
now I believe it and I'll go into it, right? You should test the theory of everything. Try it all out. If someone tells you this is the most amazing thing ever, go try it out. If someone tells you this is the most horrible thing ever, still go try it out because it
Mhm.
might be from their frame of reference, right?
Mhm. I feel like what you're describing right now would be the skill of discernment, like trying to fit, like fi- for one,
It's
taking
asking the
someone's.
critical questions, is what it is. It's challenging everything in the world. It's not, like I go back to that girl, like, oh, you mean you can negotiate your job offer?
Mhm,
Well, her parents never told her. And maybe
mhm,
her parents didn't know. Like, we get on a lot of people for, oh, you're poor and you don't want to get your way out of it. Well, how would they know any different, right? My wife currently helps a lady who has a kid and they live in their car. Okay, well, you could judge that for a minute, but her mom lived in a car.
mhm.
Her mom's mom lived in a car, and no one's ever done well in that entire lineage of people.
Hmm.
She dates people who live in cars because that's all she's ever known. Why would you judge that person to be bad, right? How can you say, oh, they're not making anything of their life? They're doing exactly what they were trained and taught and known and grew up in an environment in. And until someone shows them different and then they make the choice, I don't think we can judge them, right?
You're a better person than I am, for one. Way
I
better.
don't
Because
think so. I think we're equally amazing and evil.
no, no, I'm a cunt when it comes to that. I'll judge the shit out of people,
Sure.
not by their circumstances of what they're fallen into, because I'm game for that conversation any day. It's hard for me, and you can push back to that. Absolutely, I welcome that. It's hard for me, like, let's say body stuff, right? Everyone, even the fatties, know that eating chippies at McDonald's is not good for you,
Sure.
right? We all know, the fatties included, that let's call it healthy food, and that's a whole spectrum, even, right? But that
Yeah, but I mean, I'm taking it to, okay, what if the kid grew up on that and that's all mom ever fed them? Is it their fault? No.
no, I'm not really interested in fault. I'm interested in responsibility.
Sure, but until they're of the age that they can take
Sure,
responsibility
sure.
and they have a path to do something about it, and they've actually been trained and educated, and there is a path to do that, we still can't judge them. That's my thought process and
No, no,
all.
and I'm fully on, like, first of all, children off board. I will never judge kids. I'm referring to, I'm 16 years and plus, by the way. I know that's not the American age, that's European age.
Well, I mean, it's back to the many people choose to be that way because number one, they don't know any different. And even if they do, that looks hard and they don't know anybody else that's done it and all those kind of things, right? And I think that's back to we've got to get a message out there that there's more to life, that you can have what you want. And even though everyone says it's super easy, it's not, but it's also not impossible. It's in between, right? It's put in a little effort. It's going to be hard. You're going to fail. Pick yourself back up. You got this. Get around a group of people that will support you and do things like that. I think that could be the number one thing for most people. If you watching this get nothing else out of this, do an inventory of the people around you right now. Okay. Because the average of the 5 people you hang out with the most, are they where you want to be? Are they doing what you want to be doing one day? Are they successful in the way you want to be successful? You got to get away from them if they're not, right? At least for a period of time so you can go at least try to do what it is you want to do.
Right.
I think that's super important. Well, how do I meet other people? Well, that's back to we got to pick up the phone, we got to go places, we got to make connections, we got to do things. I moved to Atlanta out of school. I knew one person in town, and anyone that's from Atlanta knows that if you live on the other side of Atlanta, you'll see them about once every 18 years because ain't nobody driving all the hell way across Atlanta because traffic's stupid, right? So I never even saw this person, talked to him on the phone a couple times, but I had to create a whole new network. So what did I do? Well, for the first 3 weeks, I sat around miserable in my house and stayed up to the middle of the night. Woe is me, woe is me. And then it clicked one day, and I said, well, that's not really getting me anywhere. So I went and got a haircut, got a new car, got a new job, changed my whole life, got my pilot's license, got into judo, went to places I would have never gone before, you know, all those kind of things. And that culminated at one point. I took a little time off, went home, went hunting with my uncle, and sat in the woods trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life for a couple of weeks. I came back to Atlanta. I pulled in, and it was like, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. My roommate at the time, he said, hey, heading down to Buckhead, which is where all the bars were at the time. He said, I need a wingman. You want to go with me? Okay, well, 99 times out of 100, I would have said no. But I just decided, fuck it, I'm going to do things I don't normally do. All right, I'm in. I married that girl that I met that night. We had a wonderful marriage for 18 years, 2 amazing kids, and we would have never met had I not taken the chance and gone to do it. Here's the
Mm,
really funny part. She was in a hotel with her roommate who said, hey, I'm going to meet this dude. I need a wingman. Are you willing to go with me? She was tired. 99 times out of 100, she would not have gone. And she said, you know what? Fuck it. I need to meet some people. Let's go.
there we go.
So again, another example of just step forward, take the chance, do it, turn it on, see what happens. And if
I
it
love
turns
that.
out miserable, write down the cool story and talk about it, right?
I love that.
It's living in the U of life, right? Live
Yeah.
on the extremes. Do something amazing one way or the other. Fail miserably and spectacularly. That is one of the biggest things I used to teach, especially my female students when I was teaching robotics. I need you to fail miserably, fast, 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 often, 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 and I need it to be so bad that they name it after you. Okay. Well, I get a call one day from a girl named Veronica. She says, "Hey, I did what you said." She was working on the little FedEx robot that delivered the football for the Super Bowl. And the night before, she crashed it, and they made her write her name on the crack on the side of it. So that little robot went out for the Super Bowl in front of a gajillion people with her name on it, where she had it named after her because she had crashed and burned.
I love that.
Great experience, right? Now she's off changing the world, doing super important, cool things.
I
So I
love
think
that.
that's the big one. How do we get this out there? How can you help me? How can I help you? How can we get a message across to others? How can we get more sergeants out there blaring the trumpets? How do we just get people to go out there and go outside and see that it's actually not that bad and give it a try and do something they would never do before?
For everyone who's listening right now, if you want one way to test the whether your friends and your surroundings are supportive or not, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna make up a goal. Just make one up. Doesn't even have to be real. Just set up. You can go say you're on a diet. If you're someone who like doesn't care about food, let's say you're on a diet. If you're a fatty, you're gonna say you're gonna work out. If you're poor, you're gonna say you start a business. And then the next time you see your friends, they're going to be like, "Hey, you want a drink?" You're like, "No, I'm abstaining from alcohol." Or like, "Hey, you want to go out for dinner?" "No, I'm taking care of my food." And watch what they say next. If they go like, "Fuck yeah, good for you. How can I support?" They're keepers forever. If they do anything such as, "Oh, but it's Friday, you can't blah, 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 blah," or who do you think you are? That's not for people like you. Run as fast as you can in the opposite direction.
100%. 100%. And it's going to be hard too, because these are going to be people that you think love you, that you think care about you. Mm-hmm. Oh, we've been together forever. Well, have you? Mm-hmm. And it's a difference in a friend and an acquaintance, right? There's a difference in a friend and someone that's been around. Mm-hmm. Those are completely different things. No, the true friends, like I said in the very beginning, they will come put you in the car and make you go do it. Mm-hmm. Right? The high-to-body friends, they're right there with you no matter what you say. I do like that greatly. Throw it out there. Hey, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in the next 2 months. And everybody that gives you all the reasons you can't do it, mm-hmm. block, mm-hmm. block. Mm-hmm. And anyone that's like, "Hell yeah, I'll see you at the gym tonight," that's your bro. Yeah. Right? And it'll be interesting because it may be people you don't expect.
Yeah, because the winners of any sort, they're usually quiet if you have surrounded yourself with some kind of victim mentality. But the moment you go like, "Hey, I'm doing this," then the winners pop out like, "Yo."
Well, there's a little more to that, because I think there's a whole group of people, and I'll say, like boomer generation, fucking worthless. They're not going to help anybody, right? They burn the earth. It's horrible. They're not helping anybody. I'm very disappointed. Okay. The generations in between there and the kids. A lot of people have tried and they've been burned, or they didn't see results, or it didn't work out. So they're lurking in the shadows, right? And if you step forward, I mean, you see it at the gym. If you see a kid who's working hard and he's struggling, he's having tough form, Monster Dude's going to slide over there and try to help him out, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if the kid comes and asks him a question, they'll spend the rest of their day just making sure they get the form right. 100%. Oh, yeah. Anyone that's trying, winners are coming to help you, man.
Yeah.
And that I mean, hey, if we end on that one, that's kind of the big one to take from this, is sometimes just stepping forward lets people like me know that someone's actually trying. Yes. And we'll bring every resource we can to bear to make that happen for you, right? Everyone Absolutely. Wants to help people who will help themselves.
Absolutely. That's a great one to end on. Yes.
Hydrate.
Rich and hydrated. That's everyone's homework. Everyone listening. I know.
Well, let's make it even morbid for a minute, and then we might have to go longer just to come unmorbid. Sure. So I saw this study. I think it was with rats, and they put rats in water, and they would drown after like 2 minutes. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was something like that. And then they did an experiment where they took the rat out and then put the wrap back. And it would go for like 10 or 15 minutes because they knew it was possible that someone would come save them. So that could be our challenge, right? How do we step forward? If you're in a miserable place, if your life isn't what you want it to be, do what Bear said, pick a goal, step forward, do something, and then see who comes to help you. And if no one comes to help you, then you need to get into a bigger group and a bigger audience, and you need to step forward for more people, and you need to bang the drum longer. Because sometimes I say that some of those people that have tried to help over the years are a little, they'll hold back for a minute and make sure you're actually going to come to the gym in week 2.
Sure.
See if you're going to come in week 3. Ain't nobody helping anybody in the gym in January.
Right.
That's not happening.
Right.
March, April, you're still there. All right. Let's see what we can make.
Talk.
Right. So can you be seen long enough for someone to come and step forward and help you? Right. Because we're here. We want to help people.
And people are paying attention.
To do more, right? But until we get more data and we get more people reinforcing us helping and that it's actually making a difference, we need that as well.
And like people legit are paying attention. When gym is a great one, business is a great one. When you go keep going to the gym, like we didn't have a gym here, so I would walk endlessly, right, around the block in my former neighborhood, and people were like, "Hey, I've seen you for the last 3 months walk every night. I know her." I'm like, I've no idea who they are, but they know me, right?
Yep.
And it opened up connections, and like, boom, keep showing
up. Yeah, if you don't put yourself out there, you're not going to make anything. It's the kids I used to coach. Like, hey, are you going out with her now? No. Have you asked her out? No. And if you ask her out and she says no, will you be going out with her? No. So there's no change. Correct. And if she says yes, what'll happen? Oh, wait, she would go out with me. Yeah. So maybe you should try. And then what happens the next day? 1 of 2 things. Oh my God, she fired me like a dog in the street in front of God and everybody, and it was horrible, and everybody laughs, and everybody is my buddy now, or we're going out. Back into the you, right? Live on the extremes, push all your chips in, make it happen. Do something amazing or fail miserably. Either way, you're going to have a cool story.
There we go. Where can we find you?
What else you got? Anything else?
Where can we find you?
Zane Engineer's Life. That's my YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Do me a favor. Go on there and trash talk me. Like, give me an okay boomer. Give me a hashtag. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, really get in there and like agitate and stir it up and trash talk and give me something to respond to, because that helps us get the word out. That helps us maybe find that one person that we can help. There are countless kids that have found me through those channels. We've done talks. I got a great one the other day. We eviscerated his resume live and in front of everybody on earth. It's posted on YouTube and on LinkedIn. He's now got a job because someone saw it on LinkedIn and saw him trying and saw him actually trying to get better. And now he's got a job in the field he wanted to work in. And he found me through someone trash talking me on TikTok and it blowing up. And basically that's how we got connected. So if you guys help me out with that, that'd be amazing. Zane Engineer's Life. And that's it, man. Anything else I can do for you, young lady?
I'll post it everywhere in all the comments. Just being epic.
All right, man. I'm going to go hit the gym and talk to some kids.
Sounds good. Keep hydrated, everyone.
Be good.